Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game Time. It's Tuesday. You know what it is. It's Waiver Wires Day. It's time to hit those waivers. What we preach, an excellent draft, diligent waiver wire study, diligent waiver wire process, and a little bit of luck. And woo, we're hosting the Lombardi. Once again, I'm the Fantasy Typhoon. Thank you for watching Game Time. It's Tuesday waiver show. I got my man Ralph Mancini. He's in the green room. He'll be coming on shortly. Just want to let you guys know it's game time.
It's about to go down in a minute. Let me touch down. I'ma get it. 'Cause I been waiting all night. It's game time.
Once again, it's the Fantasy Typhoon. Thank you for watching Game Time. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notifications button. So every time I go live, bing, you get the notification that Typhoon is live. If you're watching on Periscope, make sure you hit the subscribe on Periscope. Make sure you join the community. This is a community. This is a show centered around fantasy football. We will talk college football. We'll do drafts. I have special guests coming in and out the building. This is all for you. Doing this all for you to help you win your leagues. All I ask is that you like the content. Make sure you give me a follow. Let me just go over the itinerary that we have for the week. Monday is hurt or help. That's when I come in front of the firing squad. All the advice that I've given out during the week, on Monday, you can sit down and say, hey, Typhoon, what you said, man, it hurt me. Or you can say, hey, Typhoon, what you recommended, man, that helped me. I won my week over your recommendation. We recommended Claypool. We recommended T. Higgins. We recommended Ronald Jones. There was a lot of hits that we recommended. Duke Johnson didn't really do as good as expected, but that's more due to the porous offensive line now that I've been rewatched them and really focused on the problems there in Houston, Texas. Actually, I don't think Superman could come in and get 100 yards with that offensive line. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Without further ado, let me bring on, let me tell you, I'm sorry. We got Bob Lung with the consistency report coming on next week. We got my good friend Angelo is going to come on. We're going to redo the NFL draft as far as rookies skill positions. We're going to go back over some of these guys, who's rising, who's falling, who is in the whole pattern. And if you have those guys in your leagues, just talk about Dynasty for this one. Who's in your league hold. Then Thursday, I have a new doctor coming in for Thursday. We're going to go over all the injuries. And I have a guy from Fantasy Doctors is going to come on. He's going to spend an hour with me right before game time Thursday night. I think we got Seattle Seahawks and Arizona Cardinals do battle. So we're going to talk about Chris Carson. Tyler Lockett just popped up on the injury report. So we're going to get those out to you. But we're going to focus on Joe Mixon. I want to know, I'm pretty sure you want to know, what in the world is wrong with Joe Mixon? Why isn't he back yet? So that will be the main focus. We will talk to the doctors about that Thursday, and he'll give us the insight on what's happening. Friday is Freestyle Friday. Ask me anything. I'll just come on. I don't have an itinerary for the show. Show is for you. Ask questions, dynasty keepers, redraft auction. I don't care. We just talking football at that point. You can talk about your favorite team. I don't care. Freestyle Friday, anything goes. And then, of course, Sunday, I come back in. Usually have a guest with that one, and we'll just go over some start sits. That way you can get your lineup tweaked and get you ready to go. Now, without further ado, I got my good friend, my longtime rider. Man, we've been knowing each other for a long time in this fantasy game. I got my man, Ralph Mancini. What's up, Ralph?
Hey, Typhoon, how's it going? It's been too long, man.
Man, it's been too long, my brother. It's been too long. It's been too long, man. Look, folks, Ralph and I go way back as far as in this fantasy football thing. We've even competed against each other in a couple of fantasy leagues. So look, I'm telling you right now, Ralph knows his stuff. This guy knows how to scour that waiver wire. We actually was in a 14-team league. It was mine. It was the Fantasy Typhoon Invitational. I had to get Ralph in there. I wanted to see what he could do, to be honest with you. I want to see what old Ralph got. But Ralph proved his weight in gold, man. So Ralph, say what's up to the people, man. Kind of catch them up with what you're doing and what's up with Ralph right now.
Yeah, over the past few years, I've been writing for a number of Packers sites. I'm a big Packers fan, as you know, and I also do a lot of fantasy stuff, fantasy analysis. Right now, I just recently moved out to North Dakota. I'm an editor of a newspaper right now, so I've had to put my football stuff on the back burner, but I'm still actively playing in a lot of fantasy leagues. I would say too many fantasy leagues.
Right.
I'm always out there. I'm always looking at the waiver wire, always looking to improve my teams. And as I was telling you before, I'm really, really big into Dynasty. I think that's the only way to go right now in terms of fantasy football. And so, I'm always looking for that good young talent, man.
Yeah, that's the only way to go in fantasy football is Dynasty. And like we were talking in the green room, a good Dynasty league with IDP. Boy, there's nothing like that. That's the top upper echelon of fantasy football, in my opinion. What you think about that,
Adds a
Ralph?
whole other dimension, and it makes you look at the game from a whole other perspective. It's not just running backs, it's not just receivers. It's you look at different stats. You look at different parts of the game, and when you watch the game, I think it makes it more exciting too. That now that you're looking at the inside linebackers, you're looking at the safeties, and you're kind of figuring out, who are the guys that are getting the snaps, who are the guys that are getting the action, and who are the guys, most importantly, going to get you the stats. So,
Right. You like you say, it kind of makes you do a shift on the field to where you're sitting there watching. You're watching the running back. Now you kind of shift yourself over the linebacker. You're watching, is he too fast? Is he watching? Does he need to slow his process down? Because if linebackers are too fast, they get ate up in the melee in front of them. So they got to stay clear. But man, you got to have great instincts as a linebacker, man.
You got to know how to set. You got to know how to set the edge. You got to know contain.
Yes, you do.
Gap integrity. All of these things are key. Yeah.
You gotta know when the running back is coming out in the flat. You gotta know when you got help or when you don't. So it brings a whole lot to the game, man, as far as, wow, man, these guys, not only are they superhuman beings as far as talent-wise, these guys really have to have something up here, to bring that whole prospect or that top fantasy production to fruition. It's not just a 40 time.
No.
You know what I mean?
As we were talking about before the show, a lot of it is, you have to make these second nature type moves. It has to be all, you can't think out there. It's got to be all on instinct, and a lot of that is stuff that you acquire in the film room, through coaching, through hard work, and it's got to be something where you can't be out there thinking. You have to anticipate. Anticipation is key. A lot of these guys who end up being great defenders, they weren't the greatest athletes, but they know where the ball is going. They know the plays. They can anticipate. And a lot of times, that's the difference between a mediocre defender and a guy who's first team All-Pro.
There you go. Sometimes it's just a little film room. I do a little bit more film room than you did. That can make a prospect this much better than one that was a first round pick as opposed to a UDFA. Sometimes it's just, hey, man, I just hit the books a little bit better than you did, and I learned it a little quicker. I know where my help is coming from. I know when I need to set the edge. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's like anything else, man. You're in any line of work. You got to do your professional development, and you got to get better. If you're complacent, you're just getting worse. You brought up a perfect example, right? Ronald Jones. He's a guy who had some struggles in the early going, right? He showed some talent early on, but had some issues with blitz pickup, had some issues with catching the ball. This year, he built his body up. He's bigger than ever, but he's more explosive than ever as well. And there he is. I mean, he's become the unquestioned feature back with the Buccaneers. So there goes a real example right there of somebody that put in the work and is now reaping the rewards.
Yeah, he put in the work. And of course, we all know it's contract time coming up in his situation. So,
True.
Rojo, if you're watching me, man, hey, get paid, bro. I hope you get your check, man. You put in the work for it. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and hop in these waivers, man. Let's get these folks some relief. What we got? We got Bills on bye. The Buffalo Bills are on bye. So no Stephon Diggs, no Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, Josh Allen. We got Cole Beasley, by the way. Chicago Bears. Nick Foles went down last night. We don't really know the full extent of his injury as of yet. Mitchell Trubisky is hurt as well. So when they come out of bye, David Montgomery is out, concussion. So Chicago Bears they lost like 3 or 4 straight. So they really needed this bye. New York Giants, man. Woo, these guys have starting to play football. These guys are starting to settle down under Judge leadership, Joe Judge leadership. These guys are starting to play football now. It's starting to show up on not only on film, it's showing up in the stats column and in the wins column. And you got 49ers on bye. Ralph, these guys are hurt. COVID-19 has done a number on them. You don't know which running back is going to play. And if he does play, if you don't mind, share that story with that you shared with me.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, in one of my leagues, I was desperate for a running back because I was dealing with injuries. And so I had picked up JaMychal Hasty, who, looked good in spurts, and going into that game, Tevin Coleman was out and Mostert's been out, and Jeff Wilson had gotten hurt too. I think they put him on the IR. And going into that game Thursday night against the Packers, and it wasn't just me. Everybody, was forecasting Hasty to be the man to get the touches that night. And what happens? I mean, the man, he had maybe 3 or 4 touches the whole game. And McKinnon, all of a sudden, Jerick McKinnon, who hadn't done anything in about a month, there's Jerick McKinnon, taking away all the carries from Hasty, scoring a touchdown and taking all the touch away. And I'm like, it's hard to predict sometimes what these coaches are going to do, who they're going to go to. And it's not always, I think we fall into the trap sometimes into looking at certain players and saying, oh, this guy's good. This guy's explosive. This guy's got talent. So they have to give him the ball. It doesn't always work that way. And another example I'll bring you is this past week on Sunday, the Denver Broncos, Phillip Lindsay. We both agree, right? Phillip Lindsay, the more explosive player than Melvin Gordon III at this stage, right? And what happens to Lindsay? Gets like 4 carries the whole game. 4 carries, maybe had 1 target, no catches. But man, it's just like the Denver Broncos. It's not like you're scoring 50 points, man. You would think that you would have some more, or you would have more use for this guy. Yeah, I mean, he's proven that you give him the ball enough times that he can bust out a 30 or 40-yard run. Which as I said, at this stage of the game, Melvin Gordon to me is more of a grinder. So, right. But. I couldn't figure that one out. I had Lindsay in a couple of leagues, and those were leagues that I lost in. And, it's those types of things that just drive you up the wall.
I know, man. I know. It's like some of these instances you never know, because when you're watching the Philadelphia Eagles, right, they want to throw the ball with Wentz. And for some reason, Wentz is broken. You got Miles Sanders back there getting 5-6 yards to clip. Doug Peterson will give him the ball about 2-3 times, and Miles Sanders won't see the ball again. As far as running the ball, He's already gotten 2-3 first downs. He's keeping you on schedule. You're moving right down the field. Then he'll just start throwing the ball, and next thing you know, they got a punt. So,
Yeah.
I feel your pain now. I feel your pain. But look, let's go ahead and get into these waivers, man.
Let's do it.
What you got on quarterback? What you got on the first quarterback?
Well, one guy that we haven't seen play in a while. Now they're going to need him. Jameis Winston is somebody that I would look in if I'm in need of a quarterback. And, he's going to be playing indoors against the Atlanta Falcons. And, quite frankly, the Atlanta Falcons haven't really, scared anybody in terms of pass defense. And Winston, he's going to put it up. Now, he'll throw a couple of interceptions, but, he can easily throw for 300 yards, give you 2 or 3 touchdowns. And look, I think, the trap that we fall in, I know I've done in the past is we focus too much on the matchups. I would rather focus on attempts, pass attempts. Jameis Winston's going to put it up. You know that, and so when you put it up enough times, there's a good chance that some good things are going to happen. And Winston's put up, big numbers in terms of touchdowns and yards. And so I think that if you're really down on your luck and you need a quarterback, or whether, you got Josh Allen on bye or you got guys who are hurt, I think Winston is, at least for this week, I think he's somebody that can do the job for you. Another guy, Phillip Rivers is out there too. He's been playing better lately. Purely a desperation pick. Alex Smith's another player who's been picking up his game. Actually, the past 2 games, Alex Smith has had back-to-back 300-yard games. The problem with him is he hasn't had the touchdowns to go along with the yards. But he's gaining confidence out there with his weapons. And so in this week, he's got a tasty matchup against Cincinnati. That helps too. And so Alex Smith's a good choice. And then finally, I'll give you Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Now the problem with Cousins is that, if we're up to Mike Zimmer, he would try to win every game by running the ball 45 times. And so going up against the Dallas Cowboys, that's going to be the game plan with that Dallas defense. I think Dalvin Cook is going to be a big part, as he is every week. He's going to be a big part of that offense. And so if he's gashing the Cowboys, Kirk Cousins is probably only going to throw for like 150 to 200 yards, and that doesn't help anybody. So I would be careful there. If there's really nobody else available, if the guys I mentioned before, Alex Smith or Jameis, aren't available, then you might need to take a look at a guy like Kirk Cousins. And then, one guy I forgot to mention, if he's out there,
All right, what you got?
Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, okay.
He had an X-ray on his thumb. He's got a partially torn ligament, but he's a tough guy. I think he's going to play through it. And so I've always been a big Matt Stafford fan. He's got a great matchup against Carolina. I mean, Carolina's defense is awful.
Yeah, it is. Tom Brady just took.
I mean, they can't stop you. They can't stop anybody. They can't. I can go out there right now and put up 50 yards on them. Come on. No, but seriously, Stafford showed a lot this past week, and the guy plays through pain. He's still got the big arm, and if he gets any kind of protection from the offensive line, I think he's in for a nice day.
Yeah, I agree with you. We pretty much have the same notes. We didn't compare notes before we started the show anyway. We just kind of asked each other how did we want to attack the positions, or which one did we want to go first. And Jameis Winston, I like Jameis Winston too. I mean, what's not like about famous Jameis? For fantasy wise. That is a step down real wise for you real Saints fan. You are taking a step down coming to Jameis Winston from Drew Brees, even though Drew Brees isn't really pushing the ball downfield like we really want him to. He's not really hitting those deep shots. He's doing everything underneath as far as Alvin Kamara, which is good because that's making Alvin Kamara that much more special in your fantasy leagues as well. Really don't understand why my Cowboys, we don't utilize Zeke a little bit more in the passing game now that Dak is out. But hey, I'm not a coach. I'm sitting here talking fantasy football. Mike McCarthy is actually doing it. So he has a reason. He hasn't told me yet. But Jameis Winston has Atlanta, then the Broncos, then right back to Atlanta. So that I think Drew Brees should be out 3 games. I don't know yet. I have the doctor on Thursday. He'll confirm. But as of right now, I'm speculating. I'm just going 3 games just to see. He's not on IRs, which automatically 3 games. So probably 2 games. But I'm guessing right now. Stick with me Thursday. Doc will give us full details on that. Alex Smith. Alex Smith will be my top pickup this week. Like him, he really checks it down a lot. And Terry McLaurin, Logan Thomas occasionally, pretty much what he has to work with. But he's making do with it. Alex Smith threw for like almost 400 yards. He was just missing a couple of touchdowns. He threw for like 318 the week before that. So he's putting up consistency, 300-yard weeks is what I'm saying. Which is good for our fantasy league, especially if you have bonus points for those 300-yard days. So Jameis Winston and Alex Smith are guys that I'm picking up. Now, let me just give you a snapshot of what I'm doing in one of my real leagues, just to kind of give you guys. In this league, I can't lose again. If I do, then I'm out. So it's one of those type of things. I missed the playoffs for the first time ever in this league. I went to sleep on it, to be honest with you. I really didn't pay attention to it the way I should. Let me just show you what I'm doing here. If you can see this right quick. Let's see. All right, there it is. Picking up Rashad Perriman, picking up Julian Edelman, picking up Denver, dropping Harrison Bryant, tight end, picking up Alden Smith, picking up Rodney McLeod, safety for the Eagles. He's getting a lot of tackles. I'm picking up Kyle Rudolph. I'm picking up Justin Jackson. I'm going to wait for him to be cleared. And I'm picking up David Moore, wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. So I just want to give you guys just a little view of what I'm really, really doing. Right here I'm giving recommendations, but these aren't guys that I need. So I just want to go over some guys that I'm really doing in some situations that of need. So if you don't have any more running back, you don't have any more quarterbacks. Let's move on to the running backs, man. I'll let you start. I'll let you lead this one out.
Yeah, well, as you know, this time of year, it's always slim pickings with running backs.
Let me ask you this, Ralph. Let me ask you this. What's your number one? Give me your number one running back as far as who's got the Ralph Mancini stamp of approval this week, and then move on.
Actually, I like 2 guys, but if I had to narrow it down to one, I'm going to say of the guys who are readily available in most leagues, Carlos Hyde.
Okay.
We heard.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, a lot of people did. He hasn't played in a while, but the word is that he's practicing, and it looks like he's going to play.
He was full today.
Earlier in the week, it seemed like Chris Carson was going to be the one who was going to play, but now it seems like on a short week, they might go with Carlos Hyde, and they're going to rest Carson for 1 more week. I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens tomorrow in terms of the practices, and we'll get our reports in. But right now, it looks like Carlos Hyde is the guy, and so we saw him earlier in the year. He came in for Carson and he ran for 68 yards. I believe it was in that Arizona game. And so, Hyde is a guy that, he's very talented. For some reason, he's been bouncing around the league ever since, he came out of Ohio State. But, he's big, he's strong. He's still got some explosiveness to him, could break tackles. And then that Seattle offense, with Russell Wilson and with those receivers. Now you're saying that I heard you say Lockett is iffy this week.
Well, I think he showed up on the injury report today.
Okay,
which is not good. Not good.
Okay, all right. So I would definitely pay attention to that. But all things being equal, Hyde is a guy, I believe, against Arizona, whose defense, they got some playmakers, but they don't scare me. I would definitely, and look, in Seattle is they need this game, and they're going to be out for revenge. I know revenge factor, whatever, but Carlos Hyde's a guy that I would certainly target. The other player I like also is Salvon Ahmed, who is, I believe he's only a rookie from Washington, had a great game against the Chargers, 85 yards and a touchdown. And I think that, he's starting to separate himself from the pack over there with the Miami Dolphins. And as a matter of fact, they just got rid of Jordan Howard. He's done. He's gone. And so I think that means good things ahead for Salvon Ahmed with the Miami Dolphins, a team on the rise. Tua Tagovailoa, looking good out there so far. I mean, they've been on quite a winning streak, the Miami Dolphins, and then they're going up against a Denver team that's coming apart at the seams. They may be playing without their quarterback, and so I think Salvon Ahmed for this week and probably another couple of weeks until Gaskin comes back. I think he's a guy that you could definitely start. And a guy that I really am not a big fan of, Kalen Ballage has been getting a lot of touches over the past couple of weeks. So he's clearly a short-term ad because, Austin Eckler is coming back. Week 12 is what I'm hearing. So, but if you're desperate this week, Kalen Ballage is a player who has been getting a lot of looks with that, and he's got a great matchup against the Jets. So, finally, I'll give you one more player, Nyheim Hines.
Ooh.
Nyheim Hines. Came out of the woodwork. Led that backfield in touches. He could catch the ball. And so I think that the coaching staff has a lot of faith in this guy. Jonathan Taylor not doing the job so far. And so right now, you got to say that, Hines, if you're playing the hot hand, Hines is the guy. But of course, I would take Hyde and Ahmed over a guy like Hines. But if there's nothing else available, then especially if you're in a PPR league, Nyheim Hines is a player who's got some speed. He's got some moves. He's got some wiggle. He's a player. He's just not that big. But if you need him in a pinch, I think who's he got? He's got the Green Bay Packers. Can't ask for a better matchup than that. Mike Pettin, baby, So yeah, he's a guy I would target too.
Look, I'm glad you brought up Nyheim Hines because, we knew he had some sort of talent, like what we've been talking about before. Guys sitting kind of low at the bottom of the depth chart, third, fourth on the depth chart. One of those guys has got the talent. He just never really had a chance to really showcase what he could do. Now Marlon Mack goes down. All right, Jonathan Taylor's next up. The GM on paper wants Jonathan Taylor to take it, run away with it, don't look back ever again. We got him. We drafted him. Pat yourself on the back, Mr. Ballard. We won. We got our running back for the future. We don't have to spend another first or second round pick or third round pick on the running back. Going forward, we have our man. Jonathan Taylor, couldn't grab it. They tried to give it to him the next week. Couldn't grab it. Tried to give it to him the next week. And what he did, you got Phillip Rivers in the game now. He's missed a check down. So he got a little synergy with Nyheim Hines. Now, Nyheim Hines rises up a little bit that following week, rolls up a little bit the next week. Now, look, this is Nyheim Hines' backfield. I'm sorry, Jonathan Taylor owners. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you, but I'm pretty sure you've seen the slowly overtake of Nyheim Hines. Nyheim Hines doing all kind of flips in the end zone when he scores. The man is just showing off all his acrobatic features, man, that we knew he had them, but we never really saw him on display in an actual game. Well, Nyheim Hines. It's gone.
I don't think that coaching staff, ever really trusted Naeem Hines.
Right.
In the
Right.
past, they never really saw him as a feature back, as a guy
He
that
was
can
a tweener.
handle,
He was a
15
tweener.
touches. But
He was a
now
tweener.
they reached the point where, they're looking at Wilkins and they're looking at Taylor and they're seeing that they really can't count on either one of those two guys. And they're like, okay, Hines, this is your chance, man. You got the ball. Let's see what you can do.
He's showing it.
Yeah.
He's proven himself worthy. So yes, if Naeem Hines, break your neck to get Naeem Hines. J.D. McKissick. We were talking about Alex Smith a little bit earlier, Mr. Checkdown. Look, especially in these PPR leagues, these running backs who catch those little 2-3 yard hitches and get that one-on-one matchup with that linebacker. That's all you can ask. He is supposed to beat that guy. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to block that linebacker. So he is supposed to beat him. That's the way it's taught in practice. That's the way he's coached. You have got to make that man miss in the open field. If you can't do it, you can't play in the NFL, period. Naeem Hines has been making that defense, making that linebacker miss in open field consistently. Look at J.D. McKissick, making him miss consistently. That gives him that extra 10, 15 yards that's going to your stats just by making that man miss. So I like those two. And here's one I have to jump on too with you, Ralph. Caleb Ballage. I know. We are here. We are at that point in fantasy where Naeem Hines, Caleb Ballage are actually worthy. And look, I really looked at him. Went back, watched his last two starts. He is excellent in pass pro. He is picking up that blitzing safety. He is coming off the linebacker, moving to the left, and actually picking up that block and making that sound block with his knees bent. He is actually keeping his hands in so he won't get called on holding. He is holding his ground. Look, he's getting those 4th and 1s, those 3rd and 1s. He's catching balls out the backfield. He's just made Joshua Kelly an afterthought. Look, like you were saying, some of these guys come in and all they need is just a little chance. And look what they say, Ralph. Once you get away from Adam Gase, it's a whole different ball game.
So yeah, I was just going to ask you that. Now, Ballage. Last time we saw him, he was playing for the Jets, I believe, right? He was there he had a cup of coffee with the Jets, correct?
Say that again. Yeah, he was with the Jets. He was with Miami.
I remember last time I saw him. I mean, with another team. I mean, this guy looked like he wasn't even trying out there. And sometimes again, and fantasy, it's this is why it's a hard game to play, because sometimes you have like these perceptions of certain players, but then when they have a change of scenery, all of a sudden something just clicks, whether it's a new coaching staff, whether it's just the surrounding environment, or maybe it's just a year away, more maturation on the part of a young player. But I have to say, man, I'm shocked that Ballage is playing as well as he is. I don't know if I trust it for the long term, but we know Eckler's coming back. That's the main thing.
It's Eckler's backfield. I'm not trying to.
For this week,
I'm not trying to say
go
that.
ahead, go grab Ballage, go start him.
Absolutely, start Ballage.
Yeah.
Well, here's one of my boys, First Down Scout. What's up, man? This is my dog right here, man. Ralph. I think he played in the league we were in too. I think First Down Scout was in that too, man. I think he actually won it. He won the Typhoon Invitation, so I got to give it to him. He said Ballage done had the juice since Zonas. First Down. Look, Scott, I got to get you on, man. I got to get you on, bro. I got to get you on. But that's my boy, man. We go way back, man. That's one of my dogs.
I remember.
You
Ballage,
remember First Down Scout, right?
I remember Ballage back in college. He had one game where he must have scored about 7 touchdowns. I remember that game from Ballage. So I know that Arizona State fans have great memories of that particular player.
Right. But I'll be honest with you. Look, First Down Scout, you too, if you're listening. I was not a fan of Ballage. But but now he finally got. He was with Gase. I think he was drafted under Gase's command in Miami.
Mhm.
Then he fell off the wagon. Then he followed. Gase picked him up when he went to the Jets. Still couldn't show it. But now looking at Balaj, man, that guy is a competent running back in the NFL. Now he's not what I want to say, a bona fide starter. But I mean, for him to come in like he's doing, Ralph, a couple of weeks here and there. All right, Eckler's down. We need you to start. We need you to carry us this 3 weeks. Oh, he'll carry you. He'll carry you. He'll carry
Well, he's got the opportunity. Justin Jackson's out. You know, as you said, Kelly's not really doing much out there, so he's got the opportunity. Yeah.
He sat Kelly down. But let's go ahead and get to some wide receivers, man. What you got? What you got?
All right, my number one unquestioned guy to go after this week, if you know people haven't already scooped him up, is Jacoby Myers. I mean, this guy's become a target machine over the past 4 weeks. I believe he's got about 37 targets over the past 4 weeks. You know, he's that classic slot receiver, reliable pass catcher. You know, this week's got a good matchup against Houston. He's slowly, you know, becoming that go-to guy. You know, Edelman, you know, has become a thing of the past, 34 years old. He is the new Edelman in that Patriot offense. It seems to be that, you know, he's taken over that role there. Another player who showed something is rookie Michael Pittman. He's going to be going up against Green Bay. And, you know, I mean, he is a bigger receiver, you know, about 6'4". You know, he'll make a lot of those plays downfield. And you know, the thing with Phillip Rivers is he might not have the arm to chuck it downfield with a lot of velocity, but, you know, he likes throwing those jump balls. And Pittman is a jump ball specialist. And so, you know, if you're in a bind, Michael Pittman, you need a third receiver. I think, you know, this week it could probably help you out. And then finally, my final recommendation is Tim Patrick from the Denver Broncos. You know, he is a guy that even when, you know, Locke was out, you know, he produced with Rippon on the field at the quarterback spot. I believe earlier in the season had over 100 yards in that game. I think it was against the Jets, I believe. But in any event, you know, he's a big guy, 6'4", tough, physical player, and very underrated. You know, he's one of these guys. I believe he was a free agent or a 7th round pick, whatever he was. You know, he's a guy that came from nothing, had to work for everything that he's earned, and he plays like it. He plays with a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. I root for guys like this. And, you know, this week going against Miami, they're going to have to throw the ball to beat Miami. And, you know, I think he's a guy that, once again, you know, I need a third, a fourth receiver, flex guy. You know, I think you could do worse than going with Tim Patrick.
Right. I agree. Well, I just was looking for that injury update on Tyler Lockett. I did find it. I mean, let me present it to everybody. I don't know if you guys can see it right here. Hold on, let me pull it up. Right here. 1 hour ago, Tyler Lockett did not participate today with a knee injury. Pete Carroll said Monday that it's a sprain and he's dealing with some discomfort and swelling. Have a short week, play Cardinals on Thursday night. So, man, you hate to see these guys pop up on the injury report this late in the game. Boy. But I have Doc on Thursday. That's the best I can do. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know if he's playing or not.
Now that we have a little bit more clarity or information on Lockett, you know, then you know, that begs the question, right? Is David Moore somebody who's worthy of a pickup this week?
Right. I know, but I'm picking him up now.
Okay.
I just showed my waivers that I'm doing in one of my leagues. I'm picking up David Moore now. So I didn't even really, tell you the truth, really think about that news. I was just picking up David Moore as just a flyer. I didn't know if I was
Hey,
going to start him or not. I was just picking it up, you know.
Hey, you know how Russell plays, man. If you're on the field, he's going to throw you the ball. You
He
know,
will.
he's not like Tom Brady. He's not like Aaron Rodgers. If you're not running the right route or whatever. Russell Wilson, he's an equal opportunity guy. He'll throw it to
I
anybody.
like that.
If you're on the
I like
field,
that.
he'll look for you if you're
I
open.
like that.
Yeah,
I like it.
definitely.
He's not like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, right? Oh,
No.
you weren't at the second blade of grass on the top of the 10, 5 yards from the sideline. Nah, you were 4 yards from the sideline. Nah, you weren't where I want you. I'm looking over here now. You know how Rodgers is. Rodgers and Brady. They won't throw you the ball if you're not exactly where they want you to be. But yeah. Oh, we got a question in from my man ISO Only. He's one of the good friends of the show. What's up, ISO? I'm gonna leave this one to you, man. Since we were talking
right.
about Ronald Jones, ISO Only Mancini. He wants to know Kenyon Drake or Ronald Jones this week.
Yeah, Kenyon Drake's coming back from an injury. He's playing on a short week. I don't like, usually with all things being equal, I don't like playing guys that are in the Thursday night game. I like
don't
guys.
either.
Yeah, I like my guys to get a full week's rest. And so for that reason, and the fact that Ronald Jones is on absolute fire right now, I'm going to roll with Jones.
Jones played Monday night too, so that's the latest.
There you go. He's got that extra day of rest. Yeah.
Does he play on the Thursday? Is he the third? No, he's Monday night or the Thursday night game.
Monday night against the Rams, and he's
Okay,
playing at home.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Monday night, absolutely. But so go ahead and fire up Ronald Jones again, ISO Only. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for rolling with us. Let's see. Michael Pittman was the guy that I had too. I was just picking back on that. And another guy I had too on my notes was Jakeem Grant. And here's my man, First Down Scout. We thinking the same thing. He's saying Jakeem Grant as a pickup. Look, here's my thoughts on Jakeem Grant. He is. I know I'm getting ready to get it for this, so I'll say it and I'll hide. I said it and I'll duck. He is real close to Tyreek Hill, in my opinion. Now, he's not on the team as explosive as Tyreek Hill, or he's not being used to the same capacity that Tyreek Hill is. But if you put those guys side by side, pound for pound, Jakeem Grant has the speed. He has the make you miss in him to the same level as a Tyreek Hill. Now, he's not Tyreek Hill, no. But I like Jakeem Grant, especially if you're in return yardage league. Make sure you get that guy in there. He can take one to the house in a minute, just like Cordarrelle Patterson did last night. But let me start with tight end because I only got one, and this is if you're in ESPN leagues. If you're in ESPN leagues, I already had him on my roster. I got lucky. I just picked him up and just was waiting. Taysom Hill. He is a tight end, Ralph, in ESPN leagues. Taysom Hill, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. So you can plug that into your tight end slot. You see what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So if you don't have him, he should be your number one waiver priority as far as I think this is ESPN leagues only. Go ahead and get Taysom Hill and go ahead and get it because they're going to have a package of plays for him coming up. He might throw a touchdown. He might have to run. He might come in wildcat. He might even actually catch a pass. They might look. Sean Payton might have him throw the ball to himself. So you never know what might happen with him on that one. But what you got for me on some tight ends, Ralph?
I'm kind of with you. There's just not a lot of guys that I really like out there. If I'm in a pickle, I would say that I'd probably roll the dice with Logan Thomas. With the Washington team. And so, I think he's had, 6 targets in each of the last 2 games. He's going up against Cincinnati. That's given up the second most fantasy points to the tight end position. And we just mentioned, Alex Smith's heating up right now. He's throwing for a lot of yards. And so Logan Thomas, why not? Why not? Why can't he, catch, little 2-yard touchdown? With most of these tight ends, that's all you really need. That's all you're really asking for, right? I mean,
a touchdown. That's it.
It's just a crap position this year. It really is. I'll give you one more player if he's available. If somebody just dropped him thinking he might have been out for the rest of the season, Zach Ertz. If Zach Ertz is there, of course you're going to pick him up. I know that he hasn't had a great season when he was on the field, but he's Zach Ertz. I mean, when the guy's healthy, he can make plays. He's athletic. He's like a big wide receiver out there. He could very much be a poor man's Travis Kelce when he's, as I said, when he's 100% or close to 100%. Then you look at some of these other guys available; they just don't excite me. Kyle Rudolph. I'm so tired of Kyle Rudolph. He's been in the league for how long now? He's just like one of these guys. Like every 4 or 5 weeks he might do something. I really expected a lot more out of him when he's coming out of Notre Dame. Some people calling him Baby Gronk or whatever. But to me, he's just a guy. He's just a big body. If you're lucky, you might get 3.
He's a blocker now. He's a blocker now.
That's it. You get 3 catches for 30 yards. It's probably the best you're going to get most weeks out of him. And then the other player who might be available is Dalton Schultz. And again,
okay.
He had 1 or 2 good games, but I've also seen games where he totally disappears too. And so Andy Dalton has got he's got a lot of weapons to go to, and this could be like one of those games where he won't even look Dalton Schultz's way. I think you're taking a big chance if you're starting him. I'd rather go with the Logan Thomas over either Rudolph or Dalton Schultz.
Okay. Well, any defense, or you want to just go ahead and
defense?
Settle down there. Just in case we got
obviously, the big team this week. Chargers. I mean, come on against the Jets. Come on, man. Chargers is
yeah.
They're available.
Oh yeah.
Nobody has the Chargers. Go get them. You need a defense. That's my number 1 waiver wire pick as far as defenses go.
You know what? I picked them up last week for this week. I always get my defense early, so I look at the Jets, who they playing next, and I go ahead and pick up.
Donald's out again. Joe Flacco's back there, so that if Bosa's playing, if Ingram's playing, fire them up. They're going to get some sacks for you, So, yeah, for sure. Chargers all the way, man.
I hear you, man. I already picked them up. So I'm looking when the waivers run, I'll be looking for next week, this week. So I always try to stay ahead of the game as far as, for my defense. I always try to stay a week ahead. So that way I don't have to put in a lot of my fab in on that defense. I just go ahead and scoop them up for free and just have to hold them until the next week. Minnesota's
another team that I would be looking at. They're coming around. They won 3 in a row. They got some playmakers on defense. So that's another team I'd look at against the Cowboys for sure.
Oh yeah, we hurt, man. My Cowboys are hurt, so I give it up. I already know we're no good. I'm not even. There's no hope or aspirations this year. It's over. We probably end up with the 3rd or 4th pick, and we'll see what we do there. So I come alive again when we on the clock this summer, well, next summer for the draft. But
just out of curiosity, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, what do you want? What are you doing? Are you gonna re-sign Dak Prescott to a big contract? You're gonna sign to a big contract, or do you want one of these young studs, one of these quarterbacks coming out in the draft?
I can't give Dak 37 million, man.
Yeah,
I can't do that. Me,
yeah,
I can't do that. I can't
right,
do
right,
it, Ralph. I
right.
can't do it. I know he got hurt, his foot. I know it looked all bad, and it's a sad story, how he went out. But I mean, he can't beat a team with a good record or a playoff team during the season. So you can't beat them in the playoffs. We can't beat a playoff team. So why am I going to give somebody 37 million that can't beat a playoff? I'd rather just go ahead and look. Let's get us to Justin Fields or something. Let's hit the reset button. And the cap is coming down next year due to COVID and all these contracts and all this money that the NFL has missed this year. So the cap is coming down. So which is going to squeeze us even more. And then you want me to pay Dak 37? Nah,
Well,
I can't. I can't
I
do it.
think at
I
a,
can't do
I
it.
think at a certain point, Dak Prescott and his agent have to realize if Jerry Jones is not giving you 37 million, what other team is going to give you that money?
I mean, think about it. Jerry always pays his players. He pays them well.
He does.
Jerry has never been known to not pay a player.
So that's
You know
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying?
What other team is going to give him that amount of money? I mean, at a certain point, I know you want to get what you can, but you got to be realistic, right? I mean,
He should have signed that 35, man. They
absolutely.
had 35 for that. Man, I'd have signed that. You the starting quarterback for the Dallas
Who is his agent?
Cowboys.
Who's his agent? Todd
Ah,
France?
man, I
I think it's Todd
forgot.
France.
Yeah, it
Bad
is.
job. Bad job on his part, man. Bad job.
He had 35 in the bag, 108 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Come on, man, you gotta take that, man. Take that and go home. Look, you the starting running back of the Dallas Cowboys. You know how much side money you can make? You know how
Exactly.
much?
And he's already on commercials. He's already making his money off of Oikos, yogurt, whatever it is, I mean, and I'm sure he's got a lot of local
Man, you know how much
endorsements,
money
sponsorships
that
and
is.
stuff like that. Yeah.
No taxes. No state tax. Come on, man. Come on, man. You gotta
Yeah.
take that.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
walk away from 35. 108 guaranteed. You can't walk away from that. You can't do it, man. You can't walk from that. But he did. So I don't look at that as Dallas didn't try to do something for him. I can't look at it like Jerry. Jerry did try to pay him. But Jerry's sitting back looking at the film like we do and watching him against the Minnesota Vikings, a game we should win, down in the red zone by the 10-yard line. Randall Cobb running wide open. He wants to throw to Zeke, who's double covered, and didn't get the first down because it was 4th and 2. He got stopped a yard short. Randall Cobb wide open in the end zone. Hey, man, throw it. Dak locked onto that first read and didn't come off. Then you look at the Buffalo game. Tre'Davious White, Gilmore. No, Buffalo, yeah. Tre'Davious White. Looked like he shut down Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper running wide open. That wouldn't let it go. Came down to that one too. In the ending of the game, we had a chance to win. Dak locked on to the first read. Had Gallup running wide open down the seam. Touchdown. We could have pulled it out. He didn't throw it. He threw the wrong read, is what I'm saying. Then we got against Stephon Gilmore. Man, I can do this all day. I can do it all day.
The game that stands out for me, I remember last year, I think it was a Thursday night game against Chicago, and he was off all game in that Chicago game, missing receivers high and low, making poor reads, and so that's the thing with Dak. And look, I mean, not every quarterback has his good and bad games, and when Dak is bad, he's bad. He'll lose you some games by himself. So he's just, he's just inconsistent. He's way too inconsistent for me to get the type of money that he's looking for. And then coming back from that injury, is he going to be that same type of dual threat that we all know him to be?
I expect him to bounce back from that injury, to be honest with you. I don't really anticipate that to be a hindrance as far as him and his career going forward. I still see the same Zach if that is something that would hinder
But
him
I
from
think
getting.
even mentally, right? When you suffer that type of injury, then you get back on the field.
You're a little
Maybe it might
hesitant.
take a while. It might take a while, before you put your body, throw your body
Yeah,
like that in there. I don't know.
especially if you don't have that golden parachute, that 108 million in your back pocket.
That's true.
You
Yep.
you do get kind of skittish, huh?
That's right. That's right.
That could happen. It could happen. But
Hmm.
to answer your question, Ralph, me, I couldn't pay him. Look, and
Yeah.
and I was saying this. I was like, look, when Dak before Dak signed his tender, I was like, rescind it and go get Cam Newton. you know, I mean, go get Cam out of it, and then we hit the reset next year, which we got to hit. And now we ended up having to hit the reset. Well, I don't know what they're going to do, but in my opinion, we should hit. We going to hit the reset in 2021 anyway. Now, so we could have saved some money. We could have signed Cam for about $7 million. You know, but it is what it is. Now it's too late. Now it is what it is. But I
Well,
like
hey,
Dak
hey,
as a person.
hey,
Dak is an
listen, you got
outstanding
you,
gentleman.
you got a good quarterback class this year, and so where they're going to be picking, they can get themselves their franchise quarterback, of the future. So
Yeah, I can't pay him, man. I can't do it. But
okay, fair enough.
I want to ask you a question about your Packers. How did you feel when y'all drafted Love, man?
I was shocked. I was totally shocked. Not because I think that, Love doesn't have talent or can't maybe someday be a starting quarterback. It was just because, we were so close, to getting ourselves a Super Bowl, to playing in a Super Bowl, and Rodgers being 37 years old. I mean, you got to get him another weapon, right? You got to get him. And he was on the Pat McAfee show the day before. They asked him, they said, what do you want in the first round? What do you want, in this upcoming draft? And he's like, hey, man, I want another weapon. The fact that they didn't even fill him in on this, I
Yeah,
mean, hey, I know he's a player, but, he's more than a regular player. He's your franchise player. He's an all-time great future Hall of Famer. The fact that you didn't even give him a clue as to what was going to happen, I think says a lot. But in any event, you see now what's happening with the team, and Davante's surefire number one receiver, obviously. But when Lazard got hurt, left the team in a tough spot, and unfortunately, they got to make it work with MVS. They don't have a choice. MVS has had to be that number two receiver every week, and this past week he actually held on to the ball. But with him, it's always feast or famine with MVS. And, the problem is that they just don't have anybody else behind them. Now Lazard, by the way, one guy I left out when we were talking about receivers, Alan Lazard, he was taken off of IR. So
yeah, he did. He's activated
if
now.
he's
Yeah,
out there, I'd scoop him up. I'd scoop him up. He is a big physical player. He is a guy that just sells out on those routes. He doesn't, Rodgers doesn't have to be super accurate to get him the ball. He'll just put, his body in harm's way. He'll come down with the ball, do whatever he has to do. And that's why Rodgers loves him. And so I think that, thank God, Lazard is coming back, and I think that'll help the offense. But, to answer your question about Jordan Love, I didn't have a problem drafting a quarterback. I just had a problem drafting a quarterback that high just because of that receiver class. You could have had, Brandon Ayuk. You could have had T. Higgins. You could have had a number of receivers. Heck, the kid out in Buffalo. What's his name? Davis, right?
yeah, Gabriel Davis.
Gabriel Davis. And he got picked where in the third, fourth round. I mean,
Third,
you could
fourth
have had that.
round. Yeah,
You could have had him in the mid rounds. The fact that they came away with no receivers in that draft, I mean, it baffled me. It baffled me, as to what they were thinking. But I mean, Rodgers will be there for another year, I believe. He's got, I believe he's got, after this year, he's got 3 more years on his contract. And if they get rid of him at the end of the year, they're going to have to eat a lot of money. So I think he's definitely there for the 2021, 2022 season. But then after that, who knows? They might be looking to trade him at some point. But the way he's playing right now, it doesn't look like he's finished at all. So while he's still there over the next couple of years, I'm hoping that he can get that second Super Bowl.
Yeah. Jameson Ray, I see your question, Jameson Ray. I see your question. I'll put it up in a minute, and we'll get your question answered, Jameson. Just want to let you know that I do see you. But I do have another question for my good friend while we're talking Cowboys and Packers right now. Look, Ralph, we are over an hour now, so let me know if you want to ready to wind it down anytime, because
I can do another 5-10 minutes, man.
The bread is in the basket, and the head's in the barn, whatever they say. The money is made now, so we just sitting back shooting the breeze now. We just talking football like we do. We just doing off-air talk right now, like we would if we were in the green room. To be honest with you,
that's it.
We just rolling. But look, I got a question. Since we got your head coach, your old head coach Mike McCarthy, what if we sent you a second and for Aaron Rodgers? Would you take it?
I got to get a first, man.
A first for AR?
Oh, absolutely, man. He's still a premier quarterback in the league. You got to give me a first, and you got to give me a player, man. Now we're talking. Give me Rodgers and Gallup. Give me Rodgers and Gallup.
But yeah, y'all could use Gallup. Y'all could really use Gallup.
Yeah.
All right, we got Lamb in the house. All right, how about I do this? I take my second round, put it with a third or with a future second. Come in the back end of the first round with, let's say, Kansas City. So they'll finish late. So they'll have a late first round pick. We're going to get an early first round pick. I'm not giving you that for Rodgers. You can hang that up. All right, let's say if I take my second and maybe my future second, come back into the back end to the Pittsburgh Steelers or whoever is at the back end and get you like a late first for Rodgers, and we work out something on his contract where we take over some of that money. You don't have to eat all of that cap. Would you do that?
Get back to me. Get back to me in 2022 when he's got 1 year left on his contract, and at that point he's going to be.
I don't want him then.
39 years old.
I don't want him then. I don't want him then.
Yeah,
we'll have our quarterback situation fixed by then. This is a one-time drop.
You would hope so.
This is a one-time drop. We got Mike McCarthy in the building. We want your Aaron Rodgers. I'll give you a first. All right, I tell you what. I won't take in his money. You're gonna have to eat the cap. You're gonna have to take the cap hit. But I'll give you a late first and Michael Gallup.
I can't do it because I need to see, this year, this is like a redshirt year for Jordan Love, right? You had COVID and all of that.
Time to play now. It's time to play.
Year. He's the third string quarterback this year, okay?
He's a first round pick.
I want to wait 1 more year. I want to see Jordan Love develop in year 2. And then once I know that this kid has got the goods to become the eventual starter, then I'll be looking to trade Aaron. But right now, I just Jordan Love to me is a big question mark at this point.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll give you a third for Aaron Rodgers in 2022. I'm not giving you a first now. Because now I know, because now you're losing your leverage. Because now I know you got to do something with Aaron Rodgers to get that young kid on the field. You see what I'm saying? So now you done played your hand. So now I give you a third because I know you're ready to cut him. You're going to have to do something with him. Because you got a first round pick in Love. He's got to play. He's got to play.
He's got
You
to play
just can't.
when though. He's got to play
You can't.
when though. When
He got
doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to play this year. We know that.
No, he's not
And
playing this year.
And next year, Rodgers is still the starter. If they got a good team and they got a chance to go all the way, Rodgers is still the starter.
He got to play next year, dog. He got to play next year. You spent a first round pick for that dude. He's got to play, man.
He'll play in the preseason. He'll play in garbage time, you know.
Oh man, seen it.
When the Packers are up, you know, when the Packers are up, you know, 35-13 over the Cowboys in the fourth quarter, we'll put in Love, you know.
Oh man, seen it. That's my man right here, folks. Look, folks, we go way back, man. I've been knowing this dude here.
Man, you're talking to the wrong guy. I'm the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan out there, man.
I see. You ain't letting him go. You gonna hold on to him. You're going to hold on to him until you can only get a 6th round pick for him or something.
Yeah. I'm gonna be wearing my Aaron Rodgers paraphernalia for the next 20 years, man. You know.
All right, man. Yeah. Even when he comes to Dallas, man, we'll get you a Dallas Aaron Rodgers jersey, man. Look, I think he's going to Dallas this year, man. I think next year, he'll be in Dallas, man. That's
what
just
about
me
San
talking.
Francisco? They might need a quarterback too.
He could. He really could. He really could. Yeah. I'll take Jimmy Garoppolo then. That's fine. I'll take it.
Okay.
But look, folks, this is how Raph and I, man, we just be tripping out, man. We just be having some fun, you know, in the green room. But let's see. Look, let's answer this question, man. I'll go and let you go, man. I know you got a busy day tomorrow. This is from Jameson Ray. Who do I start this week? I can start 3. He's got T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, or Deontay Johnson. But first, before you answer, let me while I let you think about it. Man, that's a nice little core there, Jameson. You got some nice pieces, man. And if this is Dynasty, woo-hoo-hoo, well, you building your roster the Typhoon way. Always good to get those young wide receivers before those running backs. Get those young wide receivers, man. Bring them into the team. Bring them onto the team, man, and get those guys and rock them. You know, feed them. Get up 2 a.m. and feed that wide receiver. It's screaming. It's 2 a.m. and screaming. It needs to, you know, you got to put the bottle in his mouth. You know, get them as little babies and you got to teach it how to walk. You got to burp it. You got to teach it how to ride a bike. You know, grow up with those wide receivers, man. You got T. Higgins, man. He's a baller. Justin Jefferson is a baller. Deontay Johnson is a baller. So you might can move Lockett. I would move Lockett if this is Dynasty. I would move Lockett and Amari Cooper. Get me some capital and go back in. Come out with Travis Etienne as my young running back to put with this young little group. But that's just me rambling right now. But go ahead and hit this, man. We go home. What you think the man should do?
He needs 3. Okay.
Yeah,
so we're gonna take Lockett out because of his injury status. Then I would take Cooper out too because, you know, quite frankly, Andy Dalton's coming back off of now. How many weeks has he been out for? Like 3 weeks. You don't know, you know, what kind of shape Andy Dalton is in. I'm going to go here with T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, man, he's got a nice matchup against Jacksonville in Florida. You know, no weather conditions to worry about. T. Higgins, you know, he's a go-to guy there with a young quarterback. They're going to throw the ball. And Justin Jefferson, you know, I know that Cousins is
They play us. They play Dallas. So he's going to have a big game. That's a big game.
The only thing I'm worried about is Dalvin Cook having a big game. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
But
that's right.
But you know what? But look, Cousins, if nothing else, he's always going to look for Thielen and he's always going to look for Jefferson. So I think that, you know, worst case scenario, it'll give you like, you know, 6 for 60 and maybe a touchdown. So I would go with Higgins, Jefferson, and Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I second that. right now, I don't know if you saw it, Jameson, but Tyler Lockett, man, looks like he's going to be a no-go. And on top of that, man, I just don't like throwing my players out there unless they're bona fide studs. Now, if you got Russell Wilson, throw him out there. You got DK Metcalf, throw him out there. You got Kyler Murray, man, throw him out there. D-Hop, throw him out there. It don't matter. Those guys don't matter. But when you coming down the pole, I really don't like my guys going on the Thursday night. I don't like them going early.
No, I've gotten burned too many times on Thursday night, man.
And look, it's like you don't feel good until Sunday. You just don't feel good. You throw your guy out there, he gets like 5 points. You got you got to wear that. You got to wear that 5 points until Sunday, man.
And then the other thing is that you got to think later in the season. A lot of these players, they're beat up. They need that extra rest. So with a lot of these guys, especially older veterans, you're not getting their best on Thursday night. You're just not. You know, that 3 days extra of rest can do wonders for an athlete in week 11, week 12, week 13. So I'm just not a big fan of Thursday night games.
Yeah, T. Higgins, man, Baller, Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson. Go ahead and lock and load those guys, Jameson, and get ready to go ahead and win that week. That's a nice little core. Nice little core, man. Nice little core, Jameson. Thanks for the question. But that'll be the last. I won't hold Raph anymore. Basically, I promised him 30 minutes, to be honest with you. We already at an hour.
Yeah,
15 minutes, man.
I remember our shows in the past, man. You know, we go on. We had a couple of shows where we went on for like a couple of hours. So
yeah, man, we went on like almost 3 hours on one, man. You know, once we get to talking, man, we get long-winded. We just get to hitting off each other, man, feeding off each other. Man, we could do this all night long, folks.
Yeah, there's nothing like talking about football, man.
Nothing like it, especially with somebody that actually understands the game that can hit you back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
man.
Yeah, but, great catching up with you, bro.
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure, Ralph, man. I hope your family doing well, man. Everybody's doing good, man. Thanks for taking time out of your day, man, to come talk some football with little old Typhoon, man. I appreciate you.
All right, Typhoon. Have a great holiday. Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too, bro. You be good, man.
All right, take care.
All right, we out. All right, folks, this has been an episode of Game Time. I had my good friend Ralph Mancini. Man, I hadn't caught up with this guy. Man, it's been a while since I talked to this guy. Like I said, I have over 12 years experience. Man, me and this guy been playing fantasy football, been doing shows, coming up through the ranks. Man, for the longest, and good to catch up with good friend Ralph Mancini. All right, folks. Like he froze over there. I take him off. But look, Monday, Hurt or Help. Tuesday, which is tonight, waivers. Wednesday, folks. Wednesday, game time. Wednesday is Can You Beat the Cohen with Jeff Hasley, a football guy. Thursday, I have a doctor come on every Thursday. We go in depth through the injury report. This week, we're focusing on Joe Mixon. Friday is freestyle. I don't care. I just turn the camera on and I just sit here. I'll go through emails. All I'm doing, I'm just sitting here waiting on you with your questions. I don't care what it's about. We sit back and talk. This is when I get a chance to know you and know who my subscribers are, and really, really try to help you win your league. This show is for you. Make sure you subscribe. Once I get to 1,000 followers, this thing is game over. That's when I open up the whole platform. That's when I start taking calls. Trying to do calls now, but I need 1,000 to really open it up in on YouTube, and I get the super chat. Man, we can sit back and have us a little community, and I can go live just for the subscribers, no outsiders. That way I can get to your questions. That way I can answer those. That way we can go in depth. You can call in, and I can take 5 minutes to answer your question. You know, it's not like on Twitter where I have 120 characters. I can ask you, is it PPR? We can sit back and have a conversation. This is a community I'm trying to build. Some folks can call in and help me answer questions. We all can, and I can learn from you. You can learn from me. I don't know it all, and then you don't know it all. We just coming together, just having some fun, like Raph and I were just doing. Man, just sitting back talking football and just having a good time talking college. It don't matter. This show, Game Time, is for you. It comes on every day of the week except Sundays and Saturdays. Those are the only 2 days. Sunday, I want to sit back and watch the games. I don't want to be bothered with advice. That's when I do my research. That's when I'm sitting back watching the game, soaking it up on Red Zone. You're doing it too. You know, you really sit back watching it right at that point in time. And on Saturday, you know, that's my day. I need a day to meet. And then Sundays, we come on, we do some start sits. We get you ready to go. We tweak it. Maybe a person got hurt or something happened or something here that we didn't know about. Maybe some wind conditions came up, or you know, some sloppy rain or some snow or some sleet or something popped up. We got to tweak it. That's what Sunday's for, is to tweak it. But all right, folks, we'll build this community. We'll build this community. It's Fantasy Typhoon.